Here's a short video with some updates to my William Holden in Palm Springs video from last week. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us here at Traces of Hollywood. I'm going to cover a couple of corrections that you all were so kind to mention in the comments on the last video that I did about William Holden's various homes around Palm Springs. I first of all misspoke when I had mentioned that Holden and Stephanie Powers were married, and of course they were not, but they had a 9-year romantic relationship instead. Powers said she first met Holden briefly at a New Year's Eve party hosted by writer and producer Dominic Dunn. And a tragic sidebar here, Dunn's daughter Dominique was an actress who starred in the movie Poltergeist, but sadly died when she was strangled by her ex-boyfriend during an argument in front of her West Hollywood home. Powers said she again met Holden at a bookstore in Beverly Hills when he noticed her looking at a book about Africa. And Holden had a well-known love for Kenya, where he founded the luxurious Mount Kenya Safari Club, which you can see here. Sometime later, they met again at La Costa Resort in Carlsbad, California, at a cocktail party held during a tennis tournament, and this time they had a longer conversation which led to Holden inviting Powers to stay with him at his Palm Springs home. Powers said she was already planning a visit to Palm Springs with her mother, but did take time to have lunch with him while she was there, and the rest, as they say, is history. Powers grew to love Africa herself, and after Holden died in 1981, she moved part-time to Kenya, where she started the William Holden Wildlife Foundation, and she remains active with that to this day. Also in the video, I had the address correct for Holden's Southridge home, but I filmed the wrong house for the video. I actually live nearby, so it was easy to get some new video for you showing the correct house, and I want to thank viewer PSP Guy 2 for specifically pointing this out. It's 2 houses down from the one I showed originally. And as we drive along here, you will again be able to see where Holden's house was in relation to his son Scott's house, which is just below it here, and even more visible from William's home. And his son Scott Porter Holden died on January 21st, 2005 in San Diego at the age of 58, and he was buried at sea along with some of his father's ashes, which I think is really touching. And here again is the 3D map showing Scott's home, but updated to show the correct location for William's house. Actress Allison Janney also owned Holden's home, and on some research I found that she bought it with her friend Greg Rapp for $3.9 million and owned it from 2006 to 2010. We'll also have a look at some of the famous neighbors who have lived in this neighborhood. This is the Bob Hope estate, probably the most spectacular home, some would argue even more so than the Lautner house, just for the sheer scale and drama of this home. Bob Hope used this primarily for entertaining. He didn't live here full time, but as we move down Southridge, the next place we come to is Suzanne Somers' home that she died in, and we featured in our video about her homes and grave site. So be sure to check that one out if you are interested in the late great Suzanne Somers. But as we move down Southridge a bit more, we will find the Lautner house, iconic in its own right for its design, but also extremely well known for being one of the locations in the James Bond film Diamonds Are Forever, where Bond was attacked by his bikinied assailants Bambi and Thumper. And next door here is Steve McQueen's former home. I think of it as one of the more modest of these celebrity homes on Southridge, but it seems fitting, at least to me, due to Steve McQueen's kind of everyman image. And we end up back here at William Holden's house. So again, thank you to those of you who commented with some corrections, and you helped me even more accurately honor the life and legacy of William Holden. I do appreciate the wealth of knowledge you all have, and when you take time to leave comments on every video, I think I have the best viewers out there on YouTube. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so, because the channel has grown so much more than I ever expected, and I owe it all to you guys. Thanks again. See you on the next one.